Peter, how could you? I remembered at least. But my apologies to Kate, to Catherine Despard. Please take out your cards. The person who wrote this is an African-American woman. Her name was Kate, or Catherine. Those of you who watched Poldark on the television saw her a couple of weeks ago under the name of Kitty as they rewrite this fantasy story. Catherine Despard, a black woman, a Negro woman, to use the words that were used at the time to describe her, was from the Caribbean. When Despard went to the Caribbean, they became an item, as we would say. You tell me, oh, well, all imperialists, they would get a courtesan, they would get a laundress, they get a cook or a seamstress to help them survive. And Despard was no different. But unlike the others, they had a child. The child was christened. They were married. When he returned to England, he brought her. Usually those imperialists would leave their paramours, their courtesans, back. She became an Irish revolutionary as well. And when he was hanged and decapitated, who looked after her but the Irish underground in Ireland? When he was in prison, she would go visit. You see why I apologize. I waited so long before telling you who wrote these words, because she did. The two of them did. And of course, in Parliament, they said, oh, it's impossible for a black woman to write, because she had written letters to the newspapers. It's impossible for a black woman to compose such elegant sentences. As you heard my pitiful recitation, because I had to consult the writing. But Despard had memorized it. He'd helped produce it. But the sheriff of London would look up her skirts, remove her apron, going in and out of prison, would do a strip search, or close to a strip search, to prevent her from carrying. She was a courier in the underground, from carrying messages. Catherine Despard. How do you say that again? Recuerdo. Oh, no, they say presente.
Presente.
Thank you. Presente. That's about it. Presente. No, just, remembering Catherine. It's real. To me, it's real. It's not that us historians, it's not to write fiction. And it breaks your heart when you think about it, about the repression of our knowledge, about the amnesia of of the history of our class, the history of the poor and the oppressed. And Despard was a friend to them, as he said, and as he was. Presente, nero, Despard. Thank you very much for your attention. I'd be happy to answer questions or to hear your ideas about how to tie together the three C's: the Constitution, the Commons, and the climate. Because this book has tried to bring those three together in 1803. We should look at the card again, shouldn't we? Over on the left is the chimney. And you see what's coming out of the chimney. You'd probably say smoke, but no, it's CO2. And it's still up there. It doesn't disappear. And it's the beginning. It's the concatenation of coal throughout the English Midlands, throughout the coal mining districts. It goes up into London was already 1803. Bronchitis is diagnosed for the first time, and the lung diseases. of the smoke. So we did touch, so that has to do with the Anthropocene, doesn't it? The Anthropocene, as they say in England, I think. What do you say, Anthropocene or Anthropocene? Anthropocene? Anthropocene, okay, I'll say that too. Okay. By the way, it's a very good book. And books are patient. Our libraries need these books. So if you can, support libraries and have them have books such as this sometimes. So tell your local library to get a copy of Red, Round, Glow, Hot Burning. And also, thanks to Fred, who's brought copies for us from the bookstore. And just to remind you, the gift-giving season is coming up soon. Fred, is this right? These are some of the things to remember.
Yep.
But more important than selling the books is what does the book say and how can it help us with those 3 C's that we face.